From the creators who brought you RuPaul's Drag Race and Million Dollar Listing, this is World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Wow Report, where we count down the top 10 things of the week that make us go wow. Wow. And that is Tom Campbell, our Chief Creative Officer, and James St. James. And I am Fenton Bailey, and we have Blake with us too, of course.
Hello.
Hey, Blake.
Hi.
All right, you know what we do. 10 things, counting down from 10 to number 1. Let's start at number 10.
Number 10.
This is kind of breaking news as we're recording this. Giorgio Armani, the iconic fashion designer, has passed away at the age of 91. I am not a fashion expert, as is James St. James and Fenton Bailey, but I do remember sort of coming of age, 18, 19, 20, 21, when Giorgio Armani was kind of taking over the world. And I think the first time I became really aware of him was American Gigolo. He did all of the Richard Gere clothes for American Gigolo, which was such a fashionable movie. And the Giorgio Moroder music and it was just fantastic. And, you're coming off the 60s and 70s where everybody's like hippies and no formal wear and whatever. And he kind of created this soft, stylish sportswear for men, the jacket being the number one thing. He took out the shoulder pads, he took out the canvas. They were sort of more body conscious.
The lining is what he took out.
The lining
made it sort of a deconstructed, soft. It just melted onto you. And
the proportions were different because there was more cloth below, and the way they buttoned was slightly different. And it was sort of this sexy thing, which was for menswear, which I think he said menswear for him is like doing scales on the piano, like it keeps you sharp and whatever. But then he started to do female clothing when he saw women love to wear the men's jackets. And so he said, doing a woman's fashion was like writing concerto because there were so many different expressions that women have. But he kind of lived his life like it was a movie. He was a movie star beautiful to begin with. And he really made his Hollywood roots very, very strong and deep. And Armani on the red carpet was everything. But I do remember working in Century City in the 80s in the Twin Towers when I didn't wear Armani, but I wore clothes like Alfani. I wore like the Macy's knockoff brands because we all wanted to look like that. And I was an assistant and we wore suits because we wanted to aspire to be our bosses who wore suits. And it really was sort of the Fred Siegel days for me. That's my context for it all.
As much as he deconstructed menswear in the 80s, when he turned to women's wear, and you say how the women wanted to wear the men's jackets, but he was the one who sort of did that power dressing for women with the big shoulder pads. So he sort of did the opposite of what he did for men with women. But then
it was sort of androgynous in a weird way, right?
The women were just entering the workforce in large numbers, and they were aspiring to be in the men's club. And so he dressed them in power suits. But also, you talk about his Hollywood connections. And when you think of Jodie Foster on red carpets, and you think of like Sophia Loren and Brad Pitt and all those people, and the way his look was so simple, and he managed to do like shiny fabrics in a way that wasn't tacky, in a way that was just class. It was just pure sophistication. And you always see Jodie in those shimmering silver gowns and, this
elegance. And even though they could be ornate, they were always sort of simple and pure. They were just
very simple. And even sometimes it sort of had like a Hillary Clinton Mao collar or something to it that on anybody else would look sort of tacky or whatever. But there was never anything just except pure class and pure just virtuoso couture.
There's something I just shared with the group that I recommend people watch, which is there's a documentary that Martin Scorsese did. It's 20 minutes long. It's in Italian. It's entirely narrated by Armani. It's just a window into his world. And by the end, you realize, oh my gosh, he's kind of preparing his models for a fashion show, but it gives you such insight. And 20 minutes is the perfect length. I'm sorry, but it starts off talking about Milan. It's called Made in Milan. Milan is kind of the echo for who he is, because he says Milan's not a giant city like Paris or London, but it's a smaller city, but its real beauty lurks behind the walls and the interiors, and you see his house and how he's always trying to take things away versus add things, and then
minimalism.
Minimalism, that's what I was going to say. It's sort of the maximal minimalism, really. It just
and there's a great moment where he's sort of prepping the models for a fashion show, and it's a full-on theatrical production, but it's to underplay everything. It's like, walk down the runway like you're walking down the street. Don't turn like you're on the runway. Turn like you're looking to a shop window. And you see him draping things on models. I can't explain, but it's 20 minutes you will not regret spending.
Oh, rest in perfection, Giorgio Armani.
We won't have anyone like that again for a while in this era of maximalism. Yeah.
What happens is fashion kind of went away from him, in the 2000s, but they're back. And like Demi Moore was in Armani last Oscars, and a lot of the red carpet stuff she did. And so he forever Giorgio Armani.
Classic. One for the ages. Number 9, James.
Number 9.
Heathcliff, it's me. I'm Kathy. I've come home now. Oh. That was my rendition of Wuthering Heights by Katie.
That was great. Okay, number 8, moving on.
Yes, moving on. Well, I did want to just say that the Wuthering Heights trailer dropped this week, and people are up in arms about it. People are furious about it. People just loathe director Emerald Fennell, who did Saltburn and was equally divisive.
Why? What?
People just hate it, and I'll tell you why. We have Jacob Elordi as Heathcliff. And he's the lusty stable boy who gets adopted into Kathy's family, and he's madly in love with Kathy, but there's the race and the inequality and everything. And so it's one of the great doomed love affairs of all time. The problem with it is that Heathcliff is Romani in the book, and Jacob Elordi is not, and people are furious about that. Kathy is played by Margot Robbie, and people are furious about the fact that Kathy is not a 34-year-old blonde woman. She's a 22-year-old dark-haired girl. She's too old. Also, the costumes seem a little off because this is 1790 and the costumes look like 1890. It's just something about it feels very off. Also, people are furious about the fact that it's a Charlie XCX soundtrack that's driving the movie, which is sort of a stupid argument because The Great Gatsby, Romeo and Juliet, Marie Antoinette, these are all movies that have had modern soundtracks. So why are people suddenly now furious that Charlie XCX?
Right. And how many times are they going to remake Wuthering Heights? How many times are they going to remake a Jane Austen novel? If you're going to remake it, if you're going to do old IP to death, do something new with it.
Yeah,
exactly.
But, it is interesting, though, that Wuthering Heights is something that across the board online, I am seeing nobody has read it. Nobody has ever watched the Merle Oberon version. Nobody's ever seen. Nope. This is something that is sort of forgotten in today's.
Well, when you said Heathcliff, I thought you were talking about that other orange cat besides Scarville.
Exactly.
I just have to say, because I'm familiar with Merle Oberon and Laurence Olivier.
Yeah.
Which came out in 1939, the year of the greatest movies of all time. And I've tried to watch it, and it's hard to watch. It's just an obsessive love. It's kind of relentless.
I do want to read something that someone said on X today. They said, I wish I did not live to see the day when Wuthering Heights, a beautiful Gothic movie about generational trauma with themes of race, class, religion, and abuse, adapted into a whitewashed romance book talk bodice ripper with a hyper pop soundtrack. So take that.
Get over it.
I love book talk bodice ripper with a hyper pops. Yeah.
I think Blake gets the Oscar this week for the idea of doing a remake with Heathcliff the cat in a animated, or maybe
and Kathy, the comic book.
Yeah.
Me, I'm Kathy. I've come home. Meow, meow.
No, Kathy for the comic book strip.
Oh! I'm sorry. You're so good. You're so
that was
good.
my joke, and you stepped on it.
No, I do that. It's my part of the show. That's what I do.
That's why you're the yin to his yang.
Well, let me go. Goodbye.
Number 8.
Number 8.
I had a bit of a week last week because it took Nolan, my son, who's 18 now, moved him into NYU. And I have to tell you, I'm very excited for him and it's great. But I have to tell you, it was so wrenching. It knocked me sideways. And the actual day of the move in, we moved him into his dorm and we were staying for a few days seeing some shows. So I was like, this isn't goodbye, just moving you in and, unpacking and all that. And it was fine. And I remember, because this is me, leaving the hall and all these parents outside just weeping and sort of laughing to myself, thinking, no, that's not me, So then we're there for a week and he's doing like freshman things, orientation things. So we're not, it's not that they tell you to stay away, but you kind of like need to give them space. But we're also meeting up to go to shows. And oh my gosh, we went to see Hell's Kitchen. And it was the last day we were there. And so it was the last day we were going to see him. And we were supposed to see Cabaret. And then weirdly, Billy Porter was sick or something. And so we had the chance of a refund. And we thought, well, okay, let's go see Hell's Kitchen instead. Because Billy was like, this is the perfect send-off for him. Oh my God. I was just like weeping from the beginning. I mean, Tom, have you seen Hell's Kitchen? I
did not see that one. It's the one of the very few I've missed.
It's so good. It is the Genesis story, really, of Alicia Keys. In fact, it's called a jukebox musical. I didn't really have a momentary feeling. I mean, all the music is written by Alicia Keys. It's all her songs, but it didn't feel like a jukebox musical. You didn't feel like, oh, here's this song. And it was so good. And I don't know my Broadway people, but I'm sure you do, James, and you, Tom. Shoshana Bean.
Oh my God. One of the best voices in the business. Should be a superstar household name. She's close, but
she plays Alicia's mom, who is white in real life and in this. And I forget what the number was she sang, but it was like so earth-shatteringly powerful. And then Keisha Lewis played the piano teacher. So Alicia Keys grows up. Single mom is very concerned. They're in Hell's Kitchen, not a great neighborhood. So the mom wants to keep Alicia out of trouble. And of course, Alicia's being a headstrong teenager, gets into trouble. And whereupon they're in this building that's full of artists. And one day she finds this woman who is playing the piano. And this woman is complete no bullshit. She's like, you can sit, you can listen, you may learn. It's just a fabulous role. And she teaches Alicia Keys the piano, and Alicia Keys finds music through this teacher. Absent dad, she falls in love with a guy who everyone thinks is in the gangs and is sort of a gangbanger, but he's really not.
What is it about this that triggered you so and had you sobbing from beginning to end?
One thing is, I think I was in an emotional state, almost like being on a plane, when you suddenly weep, someone offers you a cup of ice or something and you burst into. I was in a heightened state, number one. But number two, I do think it's genuinely very, very good. Yeah. And that there's an ensemble group of dancers who are absolutely fantastic. It was just really powerful. And in some ways, not the most original story, I guess, but it was just wonderful. And of course, the finale,
New York,
Empire State of Mind.
Empire State of Mind.
It was so good.
I'm so envious of you to see not only a great musical, but to be in a vulnerable state to really let it seep into you. How wonderful.
Oh, it was terrible. Honestly,
big send-off with Nolan. Did you burst into tears as you were leaving, as you were looking back and seeing him and saying goodbye?
No, we had dinner on Saturday night and flew back Sunday morning. And yes, I did burst into tears.
Did he see you burst into tears though?
Yeah, because he was going to go to his dorm and got a taxi for him. And
I remember being driven to Harvard. My parents borrowed the neighbor's station wagon so we get more of my stuff in. We got down, Harvard Yard. They opened up for the freshmen. They're all moving in, going a million miles an hour. Oh, we have to run out and get tape. We have to run out and get this. Come back, and it's like, okay, mom and dad, I'll see you later. And my mom just turning, and in that moment, just realizing this is goodbye, and burst into tears like I'd never seen before. And I stopped and ran down and gave her, a huge hug. But it was just this weird rush, bye. And like,
it's funny because I remember my mom always tells the story about how they put me in a cab, and it was this like rundown cab, and it was like bouncing all over the place, and I was bouncing in the back seat, and I turned back and I'm laughing and smiling, and they're sobbing, my sister and my mother, and I like am thinking this is the greatest day of my life, and they're like, ah. So it is funny the difference between the child and the parent. What are the dorms like now? Because they were just shitholes when we were there, right? Tell me about it now. I imagine it's upgraded.
He's on 5th Avenue and 10th. It's I think it's
Ruben. Yeah, that was mine.
It's been they've just renovated it like a year ago. I think it's the second year it's been operational. It's got air conditioning. I mean, it's great. It's like.
And how many people per room?
2.
Because that was 3 per room then.
2 with a shared bathroom.
They must have a plaque on your dorm door, James.
Well, there was
yes,
a
they
lot
should.
going on. There was, yes.
I don't know if you're familiar with this, Fenton. Obviously, you made the right choice by seeing Hell's Kitchen. But do you know who you missed by leaving? You know who?
I know. I can't believe it. Like, I mean,
Marty Lauter filled in for Billy Porter in Cabaret. You might know Marty Lauter by his drag name, Marsha.
Yeah.
I got kind of rave reviews online.
I was unaware.
That's okay. You had a life-changing moment. That's okay.
We're gonna take a break while I get some tissues in the break. Strange Journey: The Story of Rocky Horror is a documentary that premieres in US theaters September the 26th. Produced and directed by Linus O'Brien. Oh, and in association with guess who? World of Wonder, of course.
Who knew?
Yeah, Linus O'Brien is Richard O'Brien's son, and the show was a big success. And then they made the movie, and the movie came out, and it bombed. It was a bomb.
Yeah, just in time for Halloween.
Just in time for Halloween. It's got everyone in it. Susan Sarandon, Tim Curry's in it, Jack Black, Trixie Mattel, Lil Nell. Everybody's in it. James Sharman. The whole. There isn't a single person.
Trisha Quinn, who I just is so fun. She is just.
I tell you,
half.
And listen to Little Nell's episode of Night Fever while you're at it on wherever you podcast.
Absolutely. All right, Blake. Question.
Yeah, we're talking about the Facts of Life. Nolan moving away. Who wrote the Facts of Life theme song?
You take the good, you take the bad. Do-loo-loo-loo. This is my singing episode. I'm trying to a record deal is what I'm doing.
Folks, musical.
Life, the Facts of Life.
We'll be right back after the break.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Welcome back to the Wow Report. Fenton here with Tom and James and Blake.
Who wrote the Facts of Life theme song?
I have no idea, of course.
You may remember my first job in December '84, cast extras for the Facts of Life.
I did not know that.
Oh, yeah. Christmas in the Big House, all those prisoners, when the girls broke down on their way to a talent show and had to perform their talent show for prisoners, I cast them.
Remind me to get your autograph.
Exactly.
Next time I see you.
It was Alan Thicke and his wife at the time, Gloria Loring.
Oh, yes, I love Gloria Loring. Yeah.
And Gloria Loring sings it, and they are the parents of Robin Thicke. Hey.
Yeah. You're correct.
And we are counting down the top 10 things of the week that made us go, wow. We've reached number 7.
Number 7.
Someone has made a documentary about the most important musical genre of all time. The documentary is called Yacht Rock. It's directed by Garrett Price.
Yes.
Are you familiar with Yacht Rock?
Yes.
Yes. I'm surprised.
Sailing takes me away to where I'm going.
Why a documentary about Yacht Rock? It just doesn't seem like
that's right now, darling. Billionaires love their yacht rock.
Well, you're loving. It is a genre of music from the 70s and 80s, sort of soft rock, beautifully written songs that really wasn't called yacht rock until like 25 years after it was created. It was
very
just
Doobie Brothers. It's very Christopher
Yes.
Cross.
When it comes to Yacht Rock, you know it when you hear it. It's like porn. You know it when you see
It's
it.
true. It's true.
And is it a genre or is it just great songwriting? Sirius XM has a Yacht Rock channel. It's sort of the end of the summer. It might be going away, but it all the actual term Yacht Rock happened on a web series on MySpace. Before YouTube, there were these roommates who did these like corny sketches where they like pretended to come up with the lyrics of those kind of crazy like 70s, 80s songs. But it's so funny that is where the term came from, and it's just sort of grown and grown and grown. And
well, there are lots of cruises now that you can take Yacht Rock cruises where they have like the Doobie Brothers and Kenny Loggins and everybody. Michael McDonald is huge on the Yacht Rock cruise.
Why? But I get the origination, which is fascinating. Thanks for telling me. But why the yacht thing? Like, what is it about?
Right now we live in this time of the haves and the have-yachts. We are living in a time of billionaires owning yachts. It's
why is it? That is an add-on. That is an add-on, which is fine. You're welcome to have the interpretation. But it really was just, there had been the 70s rock, there'd been the Laurel Canyon, there'd been all this kind of stuff. And then there was sort of the influence of jazz musicians like Al Jarreau and people who wanted to cross over. So pop fused with jazz. It was like Michael McDonald, the Doobie Brothers, Kenny Loggins, Christopher Cross, Pablo Cruz. Steely Dan was kind of the heart and soul of it. They were just like these two guys that brought in studio musicians and made these kind of weird lyrics and kind of stuff. And Seals and Croft.
But hold on one second. You're giving it a little too highbrow of an explanation here, where the actual thing about it is that this is corny music that your parents listened to and you grew up listening to, and it's a joke that people decided to elevate this into this sort of genre.
Until you watch this documentary, because it sort of sucks you in like, oh, it's going to be cheesy, but you listen to it and it's really great songwriting.
I have watched it, and I do think that it's you who love this kind of music is elevating it to something that I don't think the director.
I disagree. They also were like a bunch of studio musicians and groups. They all worked kind of together, and they'd be on the Christopher Cross album. And Toto, which I believe was run by the Porcaro brothers, and they ended up in everything. And their most amazing contribution is they were studio musicians for Michael Jackson's Thriller, which came after Yacht Rock. Kind of the MTV thing took away, because Yacht Rock was a bunch of, you could be ugly and scraggly, but your sound was amazing.
It was pre MTV where you had to be beautiful, but you can't also discard the fact that this is all like Alan Parsons Project, Styx.
I love Alan Parsons.
Yeah, but it's all corporate rock is what it was called at the time. It was a derogatory term to this sort of like generic kind of.
It's not generic. If you listen to the songs and watch this documentary,
I'm with you. I believe a lot of beautiful stuff. It all resonates with you because you personally grew up with this.
But I'm listening to it with fresh ears, and I'm telling you, sometimes music. What I love about music out of the time constraint is like, oh, that's not popular, or people don't do that. But when you look at a body of work and listen to it 20, 30, 40 years later, I think you can have a different appreciation for it.
I love it. I love Yacht Rock, and I think it's all fabulous. But I don't think what you were saying about the MySpace people who were started the term, I don't think that they were being.
They were making fun. They were making fun of music that was 10, 15 years old.
Is making fun of this type of corporate rock from the 1970s.
I don't want to drag us back, but I was just curious. Like, so it's yacht rock because the people who wrote the songs own yachts.
No. It's just easy listening music.
It sounds good on yachts. This is what people on yachts listen to.
Also, they say it rocks, but it rocks gently like a yacht. There's lots of it. It's retrofitting, because that was not the name. It was based on this ironic kind of like Saturday Night Live sketch that came organically from MySpace before YouTube. That was they would go around and make up sketches of how you came up with the lyrics to one of those songs in the late 70s. Toto, they had a song they had written that no one wanted. The thing about the Michael Jackson Thriller album is that Quincy Jones, they wanted every song needed to appeal to a different demographic, which no one had really done before. And so they had the sort of retro late yacht rock was human nature. When you say why, tell them that it's human nature. Why? Does she do me that way?
My episode where I sing. You have other episodes where you get.
That's beautiful.
It's
Beautiful.
Yacht Rock by Garrett Price. It's on Hulu.
Okay.
Don't listen to James.
Sailing on now to number 6.
Number 6.
I watched Oh Hi. I rented it on Fandango over the weekend. Oh Hi, of course, is a small independent movie that came out over the summer. Blake saw it on the 7-Eleven podcast that we did, the July 7th. He talked about it then.
On 7-Eleven Day.
On 7-Eleven Day, yes.
I think it's important to say that it's Oh Hi and not Oh Hi.
Well, no. Actually, the joke, when they finally tell you why it's called Oh Hi, is because the name of the town is Ojai, not So, but you don't know that until the very end, the very first scene in the very
I
last.
must have missed that.
Yeah, don't you remember they drive past the sign and it says hi, but there's an O. The picture is in the O, and you realize that Oh Hi is what the name of the town. Okay. Anyway, it stars Logan Lerman, who has come quite a ways since his days as Percy Jackson in The Lightning Thief. He is just quite a hunk now. He has grown into a handsome young man, and he spends the whole movie pretty much shirtless. He and his girlfriend, who is played by Malle Gordon from Booksmart, who was so funny in Booksmart. They're a new couple. They rent an Airbnb out in the country. They have a nice meal. They're talking, and they decide to have sex. They go upstairs, and during sex, she brings out some whips and chains and some handcuffs, and he ties her up, and they're having fun and blah blah blah. And then she says, "I want to tie you up. I want to handcuff you." And he says, "Okay." And so they handcuff each other. She handcuffs him, and then she says, wait a minute. I'm not going to let you out right yet. And I want to talk first. And so he starts to panic a little bit, and then she goes and has dinner, and she comes back and she says, "You know what? I think I'm going to leave you here a little while longer." And he's freaking out, and he's trying to figure out a way to mentally manipulate her into letting him out. And the days start to pass. This is sort of a misery situation where she's not letting him out. And at one point he's saying, "This is kidnapping. I'm going to have you arrested." She doesn't know what to do now because it's gone too far. She calls a friend and she says, "Please help me. I've got to come out here immediately." The friend comes and brings her boyfriend with her. So now there are 3 people who know what's going on. And he keeps saying, "Please, you got to let me out." Well, for whatever reason, all 3 of them have reasons not to let him go. And so they are all in on it now. And it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse for him as he spends the whole movie basically chained to the bed trying to get out, and nobody will let him out. And there are twists and turns aplenty. It's very funny. It's very good. It's interesting. And I just think it was one of my favorite movies of the summer.
I'm glad you liked it. And Logan Lerman was the best part.
He really is. He has star quality written all over him. I want more things for him.
I didn't know that was the girl from Booksmart, the other girl besides Beanie, I guess.
Yeah, and the guy, the boyfriend is from Search Party. I don't know if you ever watched Search Party, but he's sort of the dorky best friend on Search Party.
Well, and that guy's girlfriend is in tons of stuff recently too.
They're all up and comers, aren't they? It's a very interesting group of little, and it's just it could be a play. It's just 4 people the entire movie
in a room. Yeah,
4 people in a room. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's Oh Hi, rentable on Fandango. Number 5.
Number 5.
While in New York, just sobbing and weeping and carrying on, sending off Nolan to NYU, Gaga's Mayhem Ball was in town. And we're like, "Oh, well, let's go. That'll be fun." So we went to see the Mayhem Ball at Madison Square Gardens. And I was kind of tired. I was like, I don't know. I really want to go. And like, just so whiny. And we had nosebleed seats at the very, very top of Madison Square Garden, at the very side of the stage. So you kind of couldn't see a lot. Oh my God, what a fantastic show. I mean, I know this is the summer of the massive long tour that's like 3 hours. Gaga's set was like 2.5 hours. And it was like non-stop wall of just this incredible onslaught of amazingness. I mean, I don't know what's happened to her. She just seems to have sort of been reborn. And in many ways, what she's doing is familiar. It's sort of back to the poker face and the monsters and the all that. It's sort of familiar stuff, but it's just, she's just turned the volume up on it. It was like a sort of Folie Bergère graphic, Toulouse-Lautrec vibes. It was just a giant skull on stage. She was on crutches. It was sort of doing her medical grotesque thing that she quite likes. And a huge, an amazing thing where she does, I'm trying to think what song it was she did. Well, it was a great thing where she was writhing in a shallow grave with skeletons. It's like sort of dance macabre, I would say, is her thing. And even the dancing style has always been sort of herky-jerky monsters, right? It's been sort of slightly zombie and paws up and what have you. But it was just so good. Abracadabra. What an amazing... I was
going to say, the abracadabra dancing is just brilliant too. Yeah.
It just assaults you. And it's almost like AI in the sense that it's quintessence of Gaga. It feels familiar, but it's new and it's different. It was absolutely spectacular. She did Paparazzi as a ballad. She comes out, she's got a long runway, as pop stars tend to these days, 100-foot runway into the audience.
Yeah.
And as she's coming out, a train is behind her, and you think, there's going to be some dancers at the end of it holding it up. No, this train stretches the entire length of the runway attached to her, this train. And then they put fans underneath it, and the whole thing is billowing. It was absolutely breathtaking. And then it's a white sort of train, like a bridal thing. And then they put rainbow lights onto it. And so, moving, because it was like this sort of shout out to the gay community, and Manhattan, New York is her hometown sort of thing, and it was just so powerful. And then because then she goes from that into Born This Way. It's like
she's an unparalleled artist.
Yeah,
who could be faulty. She's done movies. She did the Tony Bennett. She's done all these things, but she is still at the center of pop culture and inventiveness and perfection. Madonna is a little past her prime, no offense. Taylor Swift has her own lane and it's huge, but Gaga delivers, especially if you want dance, if you want again, bold statements of freedom. It's really
interesting that she
amazing.
Knows how to play to the people in the nosebleed, that it's just as powerful in the nosebleed as it is probably right there at the side of the stage.
We could only see a fraction of the show, but we were there every step of the way.
It's still so powerful to you, even in the nosebleed. I think
even in the nosebleeds.
Is what her superpower is.
But also in this moment, she is not walking away from. She's not downplaying the gay thing. Yeah. She stuck a stake firmly in the ground and
boldly
loved her
pleasure. Yeah.
And I was there with Nolan, and it was like his night before last. Just the whole thing was too much.
It sounds like you just sobbed from the moment you got off the plane.
I haven't stopped crying. I haven't. I tell you, the other great thing I want to say about the show is that I thought it was really quite clever. She directed the show. Is that when it's done, she uses the giant video wall of the stage to put credits to the crew. I was just like, what a lovely thing to do.
Yeah.
And then, genius, taking a leaf, I think, from Sunset Boulevard, the new production, you see her on the screen. She's in her dressing room. She's taken off the wig. And she starts doing the encore number in her dressing room, walks all the way through the backstage area, comes out on stage.
Fabulous.
Do you have a question, Blake?
Well, I've got a trivia question for you.
Yeah, I got it.
According to the New York Times, Walmart tracks shopping data and has found that sales of this increased 7-fold ahead of a hurricane. And it's not toilet paper.
Okay, in fact, we'll have the answer right after the break here on the Wow Report.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
And welcome back to the Wow Report. It's Fenton from World of Wonder here with Tom and James St. James, of course, our podcasting hero, and Blake.
And I asked, according to the New York Times, Walmart tracks shopping data and has found that sales of this product increased 7-fold ahead of a hurricane.
Edibles.
They don't sell lube, do they? No.
They do, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say lube.
Oh. Gummy clusters.
It's you're the closest because it's strawberry Pop-Tarts, actually.
Wow, what? That's my jam. That's my right. I understand that. Sure.
Me too. I couldn't believe it.
Why hurricane and Pop-Tarts?
Ready to eat. They're ready to eat. You don't have to heat them up. They're just as good cold as they are warm. They're ready for a disaster.
That's true. And if you want to heat it up, you can just use your butane lighter.
There you go.
Underneath.
You know who's baking Pop-Tarts now? Taylor Swift. Yep.
Oh, homemade ones.
Yes.
Is there anything she can't do?
No. We're counting down top 10 things of the week made us go wow, and we've reached number 4. Blake.
Number 4.
Yes, I took a little trip back to my college hometown this weekend to see some friends. We went to this waterfall on Labor Day. It was really cool. And then we were on our way back to Fayetteville from Bella Vista, and we stopped in Bentonville, which is the hometown of Walmart. And we went to the Walmart Museum, which is on the Bentonville Square. It is home of the original Walton's 5 and Dime store. It has replicas of Sam Walton's office. It has his old truck there. But the coolest thing, I know.
How much do you have to pay to see Sam Walton?
It was all free. You
Wow,
just walk in
there you
off the
go.
street. You walk into a little 5 and Dime top store where you can buy old tops of candies, probably from like back in y'all's day.
Yeah, sure. Well, now, what year did it open?
I don't
Sounds like
know.
50s something.
Yeah, it was in the 50s.
Yeah, sure.
In fact, there's like a little Spark Cafe because the new Walmart logo has a spark in it or whatever. The Spark Cafe next door sells ice cream and sodas from the soda fountain, really cheap, like 50s prices. Yeah. The coolest thing was this hologram thing. I sent you guys
I watched it.
video of it.
Fascinating. AI, Sam Walton.
Yeah, it's like Sam Walton in this box, and the lady would talk to it, and it would respond. It's only words that Sam Walton had actually used. So she, it was kind of like a scripted. Tell us the story about at their second store opening, it was 109 degrees, and they had donkeys and watermelons on the side, and the heat caused the watermelons to explode, and donkeys did what donkeys did, so that all mixed in the parking lot, and people were traipsing it all through the store.
I can see a hologram of Jane St. James talking about Party Monster.
I would pay to see that.
But I have seen this AI technology before. I remember at the Holocaust Museum where they had been interviewing Holocaust survivors, and you can ask them questions and they answer it because they have every possible question that you could have. It's sort of like the same thing with Sam Walton. Like they have a series, of questions that he will potentially answer, and then he has. Yeah, it's fascinating technology because it looks just like he's spontaneously answering your question, whatever your question is.
Totally, yeah.
I'm imagining that the museum is tiny and a tiny footprint, like the old 5 and Dime that it was. And then you go to the gift shop and it's a giant Walmart. You step into a giant Walmart. Is there a gift shop?
No, the gift shop is actually tiny, but it's like the entrance and the exit. It looks like the little 5 and Dime. It's the small footprint, but the museum is kind of behind that. It went through renovations in like 2022 or something. That was the last time I was there. So that's why I was like,
you have to buy some sort of souvenir. What was your souvenir?
I got stickers and I got some bingo, like car bingo cards.
Oh,
I love car bingo. Will you slide over when you see a cow or something?
Exactly. And then I proceeded to leave them in Arkansas.
Oh. eBay.
Yeah.
Well, go to the Walmart Museum.
Yeah, it's in Bentonville. It's free. The ice cream's really good and it's cheap.
All right. I love it. Number 3.
Yeah, very quickly, I wanted to discuss the appointment of Chloe Malle to the editor-in-chief of Vogue, taking over the reins from Anna Wintour. Chloe Malle, of course, is a Nepo baby. She is the daughter of Candice Bergen and director Louis Malle. She has been at Vogue for 14 years, so the calls of Nepo baby doesn't really ring true because she's had many, many jobs at Vogue over the 14 years, so she knows the staff, she knows the photographers, she knows the designers, she knows the models. She is somebody who is well loved there. And essentially, Anna Wintour was a Nepo baby. Let's call a spade a spade. Her father was the head of Guardian, the Daily Mail. What was it? Benton.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's fashion, so everybody is a Nepo baby. Everybody's a Trustafarian. I mean, you can't throw a cat in the Vogue closet without hitting somebody who's got famous parents. The problem here, though, is I'm sorry, is that Anna Wintour is so iconic in her look. We've always talked with Fenton, we talk a lot on the podcast. If you can reduce your look to a doodle, if you can reduce it to a caricature, one line, one draw, and you can do that with Anna Wintour, with the bob, with glasses, the dress, the ropes and ropes of 18th century colored gems, that she always wears with every single outfit. It's like she has a style and she has a vision, whether you like that vision for the magazine or not, Chloe Malle is just sort of an amorphous blob that she doesn't really have a style that stands out. She doesn't have a vision that I see carrying the magazine forward. We are in a time when magazines are, on the way out. They are relegated to the dustbin of history any moment now. We need to reinvent the magazine in a bold, fresh new style. And I just don't know that Chloe Malle has it, Tom. Yes.
All right, James, I agree with your analysis, but let's be productive here. Let's think of what look we can give Chloe Malle that will make her stick out. Like, how about a Jane Childs nose ring with a big chain?
And the giant, the floor length
hair.
Yes, yeah, braids.
Stripes never fails.
I don't know if you guys were watching the Trump talking the other day when the guy with the bad toupee. Remember, did you see him? Anyone catch him? He just had
Giuliani.
No. He had like a $3 toupee on. I think toupees are coming back with ball gowns. Toupees and ball gowns, I think, are the look coming up. So that's what I want.
Together?
At the very least, you have to be on speed dial for Chloe in order to keep things on track, I think, James.
I do see a lot of fashion insiders who I follow on, social medias, Instagram, whatever. They all seem to think this is a brilliant idea, and they all are behind her 100%. So good things might be in store for us with Vogue. So I'm eager to see what happens.
Well, editors note Charles Wintour was the editor of London Evening Standard.
There you go. Yes.
Very good. Thank you. Number two. One thing that I did not cry at, went to see, it was in New York, taking Nolan to NYU, and we all went to see one evening, Oh Mary, with Jinkx Monsoon.
Woo!
Oh my gosh. Actually, I say I didn't cry, but in truth, I laughed so hard and so much, tears were just pouring down my face. So I saw Cola Scola in Oh Mary, and thought it was unbelievable and incredible and amazing. And I must say, when Jinkx was announced, I was like, that is a tough act to follow. I mean, it is just a role in which you could perhaps only imagine Cola Scola playing that role as the writer and creator of the show in the first place. Jinkx not only nails it, aces it, I also think elevates it. Not to say that one is better than the other. They are both completely their own, completely brilliant performances. I also think it's a very difficult act to pull off because it almost begins at 98 miles an hour and, it's full on from the beginning and sort of almost at full throttle. So to be able to find nuance within that is and Jinkx is amazing.
I think having quite a year, isn't she? God bless her. I mean, she's just going on and on and on. She's fantastic.
Yeah. I suppose for the first time I really considered the play too. Like I felt that, okay, so, it's the story of Mary Lincoln married to Abraham Lincoln, and it's completely fictitious, completely made up. And yet I felt like rather than just being a romp and a dazzling entertainment, I felt there was something like really something fascinating about the character of Mary, of Mary. The idea of this person who's, James, to borrow one of your lines from Party Monster, you know, we're not addicted to drugs, we're addicted to glamour. The role is like someone who's a frustrated cabaret performer, yes, alcoholic, but also with this little love of showbiz, this love of just wanting life to be more than it is. And maybe it's just a blinding glimpse of the obvious, but that is actually a lot of what Hollywood and the movies and television, we all crave this kind of surreal, extra real, extra intensity, because she, in many ways, is a terrible person. She's manipulative, she's deceitful, she's a liar, but you love her, right? I mean, you just love the badness. So I actually think, it sounds very patronizing, but it's not meant to be. I just think it's actually an incredibly profound play, in addition to being incredibly effortlessly seen.
And then it has that just fantastic ending with just the song after song after song. It's
drove my Chevy to the levee. I have never heard a version of that, which I personally, American Pie, that must be Yacht Rock, right? I loathe that song with all fibers of my being, but this performance just tore it to pieces, took it inside out, elevated it, just like I was howling and shrieking.
Even the Madonna version?
Ha!
American Pie was pre-Yacht Rock. It was more folk song. It was 1970, number one song in the country. Thank you.
I think it is one of your favorite songs, Tom. I just like
no, but it was as a 7-year-old, I thought it was deeply profound. I learned all the words.
It was 7 minutes too long.
We're going to take one more break, and when we come back, the number one thing this week that made us go, wow.
What was it?
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
All right, welcome back to the Wow Report. We've been counting down the top 10 things of the week that made us go wow. We have reached the climax of our show. Number one.
Number one.
Well, we've talked extensively amongst ourselves about this new AI version of The Wizard of Oz that's playing at the Sphere in Las Vegas. And I was very much against it. I heard that they were chopping out 30 minutes of the show. They had added on 10 minutes of just AI babble, and that there was all sorts of things about it that just, I get my britches all in a twist about AI, but I did send you guys the scene from inside the Sphere as it was showing. The tornado was twisting, and the house goes up in the air, and you see the inside of a tornado from AI's perspective of the Sphere that is all around you, and it was absolutely stunning and absolutely sort of magnificent. And I wanted to see what you guys thought, because I might have to eat my words here.
I think, when they wanted to colorize old movies and everyone threw a fit, it's like things don't go away. The originals don't go away. They don't get destroyed, discarded. They get remixed, replayed. To me, it's like music, and it keeps it vital and interesting. I haven't seen it yet. The clips do look spectacular. I wonder what the pacing is like. Like, things that took a minute in the movie seem to be taking 4 minutes in that, the recreation. So I've been curious about that, but I'm all for people. I think it's how iconic things continue. It's remaking them and reimagining them. And we now have the ability, like a remix of a song, to use the original elements and enhance them. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, the future is a remix. And like what plays in Vegas is different. So I think the Vegas version that is sort of sensory overload and spend most of the time inside a tornado, why not? Why should it be
There's also another clip. She's in the poppy field and she falls asleep with the poppies and everything, and then the snow starts coming down, and they actually have snow falling in the Sphere. It's very Vegas. It's fabulous. I don't know.
I wonder if they do a topless Wizard of Oz review just to make it very Vegas.
I would like to see the Mayhem Ball in the Sphere. I think she would do something
Well,
amazing.
I can't remember. Did you see U2 in the
Oh
sphere?
God! I
It's one
mean,
of the dreariest, dullest things you've ever seen.
it really was. It was like that took a special talent to make the
And they're not visual artists. Gaga is a visual artist. I could see
Gaga,
her.
yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, I just wanted to, if you get a chance to go online and just check out the hurricane or the twister scene in the sphere, it's just.
And Vegas needs help. I mean, Drag Race is doing well, but like Vegas numbers are down, tourism down. Canadians aren't
It's
going.
a ghost town for the most part. So
Yes.
if this helps, then God bless
And
them.
Hispanic people are nervous to get on planes and travel. So it's like,
Well, you know, there's one reason for that, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yep. So, same time, same place next week. Until then, go out and make something. Go out and do something that makes the world go.
Wow.
Wow.